Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm joined by Irene. First of
Hello.
all, hi Irene.
Hi, Mark.
First of all, I would like to apologize for the way the screen is set up, but we had enormous amount of technical issues. However, this transmission is part of the transmission I made about 4 hours ago for the Canadians, US, as well as Australia and New Zealand. This is specifically for Europe, but it ties in from the last broadcast. All over the world, including Ireland, anybody that's ever opened up a bank account, credit card, mortgage, which is a death pledge, unfortunately signed up what is known as a power of attorney. The power of attorney is the one that you signed up, and can you remind me, Irene, what power of attorney that is?
Okay. When you open up a mortgage, there's part of the terms and conditions. There's a tiny little paragraph, only like probably about 50 words or whatever, giving your authority and your power of attorney to the people who are lending you the mortgage, as in the bank, whatever bank. But what they try and get you on that. But the thing is,
So
the
what's
power
it
of attorney,
called? What's it called, the power of attorney? That the
power of attorney.
particular document and website. What's it called?
There is a Power of Attorney Act 1996, and it is on the Irish statute book.
Okay, what would they type in to find it out?
Just put in powers of attorney. It should come up. The latest one will come up, and it'll be on the
Okay,
Irish statute book.
thank you. So what I'm saying to you is on Thursday, me and Irene will teach the entire Irish nation, including the Canadians, as well as Europe itself and anybody that wants to join in, to be able to squash that, more so in Ireland than anywhere else. The reason why that is because Ireland will be visited by two toxic individuals. These individuals are part of what is known as the principalities, and they call themselves Charles and Camilla. They are parasitical, and they come in order to take hundreds, if not thousands, of houses, businesses, lands, and etc. off the Irish people and return it back to the crown, where the crown, or be it the Queen Elizabeth II, as being the head of the Church of England, will deliver it to the City of London. That is the sweat equity, the commercial energy of the Irish people. And this is actually taking place all over the world through what is known as the fictional Admiralty Courts. I want to make it very clear. The All Powers of Attorney, which is found on my website as well, details in fiction, it's a legal fiction instrument, that it gives them complete and utter power over your life in every facet, including whether you should live or die in a hospital or whether your organs should be harvested. This is what it's called, an all powers of attorney. If you examine the document, which I dearly wanted to, but the system keeps faulting, so I can't share the document with you. But let me see if I can pull it up here, so please be patient with me. I can't find it on my desk, Irene, unfortunately,
Okay.
because I had so little time to prepare for everything. Can you hold it up to the camera,
Can
please?
anybody see it?
Yeah, hold it up and just hold it still. Can you go up a little bit? Go up a little bit more. More, please. Keep going up. Move a little bit to the right.
This way?
Sorry, to the right. Keep going, please. I'll tell you to stop. Stop. Now bring the whole thing closer in to the camera. Okay, just hold it there tilt it a little bit to the left. Okay, that's fine. Bring it a little bit closer, please. All right. What you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is the actual Irish document that gives your de facto parliament all power over you. This includes your children, your estate, your heritage, and so on and so forth. And you can take that away now, Irene. And these documents exist in virtually every country in the world. And on Thursday, for the Canadians on a separate training program, I'll be teaching them how to squash it. And then a few hours later, me and Irene will be doing it for the Irish nation, as well as the rest of Europe, full stop. I can entertain around about 500 to 1,000 people. If they want to join in, to be able to squash your de facto government's position and shut down the Admiralty courts that is operating all over the country, including Ireland, Southern Ireland, and the rest of the world, then what you need to do is you need to provide me with some sort of a photo of your passport or driving or whatever it is, but just block out those bits of information that I don't need to see, like your address or your serial number. I just need to see your name and your face. Full stop. This is a pivoting moment in history, because on that training program, me and Irene are going to teach you so many different things to take back your country and shut down the Garda, who are now at the moment working for a group of privateers. That's what their name is, privateers. And they're operating all over the world, but they cannot perform what is known as marks and reprisal. That they're called marks and reprisal. That's a privateer's ability to hurt you, kidnap you, steal your home by force. But however, they might do it at night time. Okay? So when they do that, they put balaclavas and things like that. At this moment, you can put them under arrest. And I'll be teaching them how to do that. And if the Garda does not help you, I will teach you how to strip them of their insignia and put them under arrest as well. And I'll be teaching you all of those things. Once it is taught, your ability to take back your country is established there and then. Full stop. Now, Irene is part of the Federal Postal Court setting, and I want to make this very clear. Nobody on this planet, and it's a negative expression, nobody on this planet has power unless they've taken responsibility. And I take full 100% responsibility for all peaceful men and women that come through my education system to be able to do this as men and women, which means all legal fictions are banned. This means all infiltrators are banned. This means anybody working for a corporation or government agency is banned. I'm instructing the postmasters, my fellow postmasters that run these countries, to make sure that safeguarding remains in place. Okay? And I want to make this very clear. If the Garda is not protecting the men and women and they are only protecting the corporations, they are at that moment what is known as practicing in their private capacity. That means they have abdicated their oath to serve and protect. You can now put them under arrest. Once you put them under arrest, where do you take them? You can call the coroner, which I'll teach you how to become one. Okay, you can call them to take them into custody and then put them in a safe place where they don't harm themselves as well as other people. Your lands are yours. No principality can take anything away from you if you do not consent. Nothing can be taken away from you without your consent. That's something you need to know. Full stop. The registrar in your country, which we was going to name and shame, as well as service them at their homes, which I will have to do, and the broadcast will need to be rescheduled, as it were, tomorrow, and I'll release that information, how to be able to do that, because we're going to go after their bonds. This includes the constar, the Garda, this includes the registrar, and all of them. And I will teach you how to service them at their home, in any location. You can even call the Garda in as a witness of them being serviced. This is back of people that have already done such things in the US, which is a women's movement that did this to take back their children's lives when they were forced to wear masks. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I have known for several years, and this is in code, when the mask comes off, which is now going to come off, the world of fiction is going to basically end. This is called the legal fiction. The principalities, as I think in one of the Bibles it says, the principalities' guts will spew on the streets of Babylon. That's what you're going to be witnessing. What does that mean? That's picturesque language, is that this thing called Prince Charles, which is a parasite, and another thing called Camilla, are going to come to your country. So the registrar in these admiralty courts can hand over thousands of properties and farms and bank accounts to these individuals that they will take back to Elizabeth II, which she will now, in a mayoral ceremony, take into the city of London to transmit all that commercial life force, energy, monies, farms, lands, into what is known as the crown. The crown is the same word for the corona. Corona is the same word as a coroner. And the crown out of City of London and the shield that is flying in the UK government is that crown. It is the crown that they stole off of you. Let me make it very clear. In conventional language rather than passe, if I claim to be a sovereign, that means I have my own language, I have my own money, I have my own court of records in conventional language, I have my own coroner, I have my own faith, so on and so forth, with meaning I require nothing from you. So those two that are going to come to your country at the end of this month are not sovereigns. They are parasites. Parasites. And I will teach you how to deal with them. When you protest somebody, so you Irish people out there, and I want to be very direct. I'm going to be direct because I'm a direct man. You Irish have a great deal of pride and bullshit inside of you. When you come to me as a man and remove this parasitical pride that you have. I won't entertain it. Let me make it very clear. Your country knows me a lot. Doesn't owe, knows me. I've been in your country many a times. And a small group of people have always tried to, and it's always that small group of people that have tried to sabotage my efforts. So all of your groups and all of your societies are welcome, but you come to me as men and women and not as proud, idiotic fools that will speak nonsense with me. You make a statement, you qualify it, otherwise get out. That's how it's going to be conducted. Why am I so stern with this? In my past, I have been very tolerant of intolerable people, and I won't be tolerant anymore of such things. Full stop. So, for the rest of Europe, listen very carefully. You have, when you signed up a mortgage, proved to your county coroner that you are holding a dead instrument and speaking a dead language, because that's what a mortgage is. It's French. It's French for a death pledge. That's why the UK shield, that shield is all written in French. because it's owned by French. It's not the English, it's not the British. These are just mechanisms, bureaucratic mechanisms that they use to remove your energy. I, as a Chief Federal Postal Court Judge and Plenipotentiary Judge, educating everybody on the planet. Full stop. Irene,
Yes.
do you believe that I have got the message across to every Irish man and woman, every Irish man and woman, that the power lies with them at the stroke of a pen to shut down their government and to put the bureaucracy in place to service? And it is a bureaucracy because governments are middlemen and they don't need to be there. The bureaucracies are the ones that service your country. Do you believe, Irene, that I have successfully communicated to the Irish people and the rest of the Europeans
Yes, I think
that
yeah.
the all powers of attorney need to be squashed,
Yes.
and
So,
that they will have and be given the ability to arrest any Garda or arrest any so-called fictional judge, admiralty judges or whatever they call themselves, because they're all part of a legal fiction, and men and women sit above all of these things.
yes.
This includes the registrar, which you will be naming and shaming, will be served at her doorstep or his doorstep. Whoever touches these things in Ireland will be served at their doorstep for their bond to be submitted. And then we will make claims on the bond. In addition to that, they may well be also open to arrest by the people. The people who governs things. Full stop. In Ireland and other countries, you have what is known as common law societies. You are welcome to come along. Understand this. Men and women are the creators of law. Common law belongs to what is known as a commonwealth. And you, by your own experience, have experienced you don't have access to that law. Now let me explain to you what law is. If me and Irene agree upon something, that becomes law between you. That becomes law between me and Irene. That is law. So if you have agreed something with a corporate enterprise calling itself the Irish government, that becomes law. So I'm going to ask you, everybody, every Irish man and woman listening to this, did you ever agree to the terms and conditions of a corporate government called Irish government in your country? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then you have a place. If the answer is yes, then I'll let you get on with it and you have no place with me. Full stop. I will hand it back to a more feminine voice rather than my direct voice to add a little bit more volume of what I'm saying. So I hand it back to you, Irene.
Okay, I just thinking there what you last said. If the people have agreed with that they've contracted, how do they know if they've agreed or not, or what would they have done? Would they have signed up to government agencies, or how would they have agreed unknowingly?
If any document is withheld from you at the time of signing, that document becomes null and void. That's one. Second of all, if they didn't tell you a mortgage means a debt pledge, would you have signed one? If you have signed a debt pledge and you are willing to sign a debt pledge, that's how you know you agree to it.
Yeah.
If they did not tell you it's a debt pledge and it carries an all powers of attorney, they have deliberately withheld information by creating a fictitious language in French, so you don't understand it as Irish. So it's like me contracting with Irene, but I write out the documents in French and partly in English. She can partly read English, but she cannot read Chinese. So when she signs that, because she doesn't know what it means in Chinese, she's essentially agreeing to it. That's why they say tick that box. Tick that box, you've understood it. Tick another box in front of a solicitor to say that you have signed a debt pledge. Because the level of trickery here is so vast, and because the trust in the trust of man and women to trust prostitutes known as solicitors and crown operatives and agents of the court or the agents of the crown have withheld this information, as well as not even giving you word closure, which means what the words mean on a document, it's already null and void from the beginning to end. And as a Chief Federal Postal Court judge, if they have not even given you a document that even resembles where the nouns are in the document and just speak in terms of adjectives after adjectives, you are witnessing essentially a carrot that's being dangled in front of your face in the hope that they think you are a donkey and take a bite. That's called a dangling participle verb. Your whole documents are made out of pronouns, they are made out of adjectives, and they're made out of verbs. And they're just dangling the possibility of a house or a farm or a loan in front of you to be able to take your all powers of attorney, also to securitize your name and sell it onto the stock market through a bank. That's what that means. So, if they did not tell you that this is what we're doing to you, this is what we're going to do, then it's a null and void document. A marriage is exactly the same thing. It's actually a contract. So let's imagine that I propose to, if I may, can I use you as Irene? Can I use you?
Okay.
So I'm going to propose to Irene, and Irene accepts. And she asks me a few questions, and I lie to her about those questions, and then we still go on with the marriage. The exchange, so there's an offer, there's now an acceptance, and there's now an exchange of value called a ring. And then there is the performance of marriage. If she later finds out that I have lied to her, that marriage is null and void there and then. Because a lie is a lie. What's the principles of the three wise monkeys? Speak no lie, speak no lie, tell no lie, and hear no lie. I think that I've forgotten what the phrases are.
Hear no evil, speak no evil, in whatever order.
Correct, and that's what makes contract. So since they did not tell you that they're going to administer your entire life if you don't pay the ransom fee that we're asking, which is called a death pledge, then of course the government itself has become a null and void entity. Full stop. I also want to throw a caution here. Caution in all the internet noise that is out there. The internet noise is full of people that want to get you to engage with the government to give it legitimacy. And there's one particular academic that is trying to do that in Canada. And they've teamed up with a replacement for Alex Jones. I don't like to name names because I only ever do that if it's in dire straits. I'm going to ask them politely, step aside, and make sure that you step aside. This, what is happening around the world, will not be interfered with, not by anybody. I also wish to add another note. When you see people like Facebook, the so-called owners of Facebook, and etc., being grilled by the Senate committee or this committee or that committee, that's a lie. That's a stage performance. The senator is pretending to give Facebook a hard time. But in fact, what he is doing is following the script that Facebook has given him to make it look like in the eyes of the public that the senator is giving Facebook a hard time. In reality, they are not. This is part of what is known as compensation theory. What that means is that let's imagine I've got nothing to eat and my neighbor doesn't have anything to eat. I feel that I'm in good company, and therefore it's not as bad as it should be because my next door neighbor's experiencing it as well. Let's imagine that you're a jealous type, and I have met quite a lot of jealous types in your country, and I'm sorry to speak ill of the people there, but I have had bad experiences, and I don't want to get bit again by these people. Let's imagine that I won the lottery. okay, and I got $1 million, say, dollars. And I squandered it away, and I lost it and became a drunk and went back to work in my factory, as it were. The jealous type of people feel that's a good thing because they feel that the money that this man, me, I had and completely destroyed it is all proof that they're themselves not having any money is evidence of the shameful nature of the money and what can easily happen to him if he ever wins the lottery. So he feels good about me losing the money because he wants to justify his poverty and also feel good about himself that he didn't need to win the lottery. It's part of compensation theory. At the moment, I'm not describing it too well. I'm not describing compensation theory too well. It's because I'm quite tired because I've been up and about all day long. So, to the good Irish men and women, and you have known me for many, many years, I will teach you what you need to do to take back your country. Please, please, cover my back with the foul people that can try to infiltrate what I'm about to teach you. You don't ever need to organize yourself into groups. This is the sure way that you'll get infiltrated. I will show you that you are actually a leaderless organization, just like the Canadians. These academics, they will try to make you centralized, become a leader organization. You must not go down that route. Bitcoin is making sure that every man and woman on this planet is the banker. Every conduit that you're going to be witnessing is going to change into a cooperative. A cooperative does not answer to any government, albeit especially a de facto one calling itself the Canadian government or the Irish government or any one of these things like Parliament. These systems will be running on an open blockchain called blockchain, where you can openly see what every MP, senator is doing. Openly, where the monies are going, where they're coming from. And they are petrified, because once that goes live, you will see that virtually every Prime Minister, President, MP, judge, court judge, registrar are nothing more than prostitutes for a small group of men and women that is removing the sweat equity, commercial energy of this entire planet, using that as a front, the parliaments as a front, to pocket the money themselves. And remember, I'm on a geometric level playing field under the penalty of perjury to say the things that I'm saying are factual. And I take responsibility for everything that I do. And I take responsibility for every good-willed, peaceful man and women that I'm about to train. Anything less than that, you may F off. I want nothing to do with you. And the Irish people themselves will now going to look after my back and cover my back while I take you out of the mess that the Irish people have found themselves in, to no fault of their own, because you was lied to. Okay? Do I need to say anything else, Irene? Have I covered everything that they need to hear?
Yes, I think you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in that case, remember it's Thursday. We'll be holding this training. You'll need to email us. We're about 4 or 5 days behind the email answering. But I will first train the Canadians, and then I will train Irish and the rest of Europe. Okay? This is to make sure that the smooth birthing of the corona period doesn't have too many teething problems. The Canadians have inspired us, and therefore I will reward them the things that they require to make that transition smooth. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you all the best. And do email us if you want it. And do remember, this is only for people that are going to do something. People that are going to do something. If you're not going to do anything, don't waste my time. Don't bother turning up or anything. Okay? And I'm sorry that I was so harsh on the Irish people. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm only harsh with those people that I've had bad experiences with. Because of this, I want the Irish people to understand, cover my back. I'm at the moment the only goose that's laying the golden eggs for you. It's only natural that you make sure that I am protected by you covering my back. Okay? Thank you. Irene, do you have any things to say?
No, definitely not. No, I think that was very good, Mark. Very good presentation, and we look forward to see what happens on Thursday.
Thank you very much. Until next time, bye-bye. And I will be having another transmission, by the way, tomorrow, because we need to share some documents. So I'm going to ask Irene to join me tomorrow. And I don't know what time that transmission will be. At the moment, my workload is quite heavy. I wish you all the best, Irene, Irish people, and Europe. And I know Damien is sitting at the back somewhere.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.